Hello and welcome to another scrapbooking process video. I'm Tracy, also known as MercyTiara, and I do scrapbooking process videos and more here on my channel. Today I am going to be making a page that combines some of these gaming and sports related stickers, and I'm going to be mixing them in with some organic florals, and these are not two styles that one might think go together, but I'm going to try to mash them up and make them work together. So I have these two photos. They're printed up at 3x5, and they are of my daughter and I. One afternoon when the rest of the family was gone, it was just the two of us, we decided to pull an extra TV into the living room and game the whole day long. We were playing Two Point Campus, actually, and I knew that I had some video game stamps, so I decided to pull them out because I thought I might use them to make an embellishment or something, but I'm going to end up doing something even more awesome with them, thanks to the suggestion of one of my patrons. Now, as I scrapbook, I'm actually making 4 pages in the same day. And so as I keep scrapbooking, I keep having more and more ideas. So I keep writing them down in my newsletter. There's a little spot for you to put stories you want to tell or ideas or products you want to use. And so if you see me pull that down, it's just because I had an idea. I am scrapping live with my patrons at this time, but the footage that you're seeing is like the edited version of it that comes later. So they've already seen me make this, but this is the edited version. So I'm just having a look at which of these pages might work with, oh, I really love those chickens. Not for this page, but I do want to use those chickens. You'll see those they will be the last of these 4 layouts. We'll be using those chickens. I have some Vicki Boutin die cuts here that I think will work with this page as well. And that's where I'm going to pull in the floral elements for this one. And at first I thought I might use some of those feathers, but those feathers are actually not going to make it onto this particular page. They'll be on the next page, which is page number 3 for that day. Now I'm going to use this cardstock that came in the cardstock add-on I'm using the nostalgia kit today. And what you see right here, I'm matting these 2 photos with this pattern paper. This is from the Memories collection from Simple Stories. This is the only pattern paper that's going to be on this whole layout. The rest of the whole layout is just embellishments, and I love it. I love just piling on the embellishments, and that's what I do with this one. This one has a lot. I wanted to find my distresser, and it was at the bottom of a little container that had other things in it. So this is my Tim Holtz distress tool. It just makes it a little bit easier to make the edges of your paper look a little frayed. So I'm just fraying those all up, and then you end up with a whole lot of dust that I just swept it onto the floor. I'll deal with it later. I'm drinking an iced coffee as I go, and it's delicious. So I'm taking my time with it because it's so yummy. I'm going to layer these photos like this, and I basically want everything on this layout to look like it just kind of fell into place. So I start with the photos off to the side like that. And here I'm thinking about using more pattern paper. So I'm thinking I might put a layer under those, a tone-on-tone layers. But ultimately, I'm just going to go with the embellishments. I just don't like how that looks. I'm really trying hard to get more pattern paper on this page. And then I decide, you know what? I don't need more pattern paper. I'm going to take these Vicki Boutin embellishments. These are all die cuts, and I'm going to pick out some that I think are relevant, some that are pretty, and some that are relevant. So the mushrooms are relevant because my daughter loves mushrooms, but also mushrooms are pretty common in video games. Mario Kart, Zelda, they all involve collecting, at least Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom Zelda do involve collecting mushrooms. So I thought that the mushrooms worked on 2 different levels. I'm using my powder tool to put powder on the backs of the stickers so that they don't stick to anything while I'm working with them, because I don't know exactly where I want them to be. This says, oh, it's game on, and I love it. And so I'm just going to use my fingernails to make that look a little bit rough around the edges. And then I also really love this one. It says, would 100% recommend again. I mean, spending the day together gaming was so much fun, and a really nice way to spend time together. So I'm going to start by just taking all of these embellishments that I pulled out as options, and I'm just going to start sticking them in every here and there. And so I've got that foliage that's under the word epic. And at this point, I'm thinking epic is probably going to be the beginning of my title. And I don't know exactly what else will be with it, but it'll be epic something will be my title. Love that little cluster of mushrooms, and I also really love that gaming controller. I'm going to add a butterfly and a moth, one for me and one for her, and 2 little clusters of mushrooms as well. And now this little bitty bin holds all of the little Vicky Bouton die cut paper clips. And I found these color wheels, and they look a lot like stamina wheels to me. So I decided I'm going to use these as stamina wheels, and I'm going to put them in 3 different places. And I love how they pop off the page. They really pop out at you, which is exactly what I was wanting. So that gives me basically 3 anchoring places for my clusters of embellishments. These are not going to stay exactly this way, but they'll be sort of like that in the end. I'm really loving how this looks. I'm getting so many things on the page right now that it's kind of hard to think about where to start gluing things down. And then one of my patrons, good old Tara, she always has lots of great ideas. She suggested that I stamp gaming phrases all the way around the page. And as soon as I heard that idea, I jumped on it because I thought I have a lot of gaming phrases in these 3 stamp sets. One of them is actually not a video game stamp set. One of them is a board game stamp set. So I have Lawn Fawn. Oh, so I first started stamping using my Misty memory making Misty tool, whatever it's called. It's like the 12 by 12 inch Misty tool. And it was too cumbersome and not all that helpful. It's just, it takes up so much space on my desk with that massive hinge door. So I decided I'm just going to hand stamp, and that means that they will have a hand stamped look. They're not going to be totally solid stamps, especially those bold ones, but that's okay. And you'll see that it actually looks kind of good that way. So I am grabbing any of the phrase stamps that I think I might want to use, and I'm putting them all on one block. That way I don't have to keep on looking for them, because I know I'm going to have to use them multiple times. So the first 2 there say, will you be my player too? And let's play. And then the next one says, press start. Now this one says, good game. And the board game stamp set is from Ellie's Studio, and the screen time is from Lawn Fawn, and the other one is from Paper Person. And now this one says, proud to be a player. And now I'll turn the corner, and each one of these lines of stamps, I have to space it out so that they're going to fill up the whole line. So here I'm using this beautiful stamp. It's called Gamer. And I thought if I used foam, it might stamp better. It didn't. It's fine. I don't have to use foam. And then I'm going back to Will You Be My Player Too? From that screen time from Lawn Fawn. I love that one. Then we've got a Gamer Girl. There we go. And then this one is Winner. It's from the Ellie Studio stamp set. That's really about board games, but I thought that it would still work. And then Let's Play will fit right after that. Now, Let's Play has some other words on it that are not relevant to video games. I think it's Let's Play a board game or a card game. And so I'm just using my washi tape to mask off that so that it doesn't, I didn't do a great job. You can see a little bit of the letters below it, but that's okay. We're going for a hand stamped look here, so it doesn't really matter. Next, I'm going to use Good Game and then press start, Proud to be a Player, and then I'll stick in. So it's hard to kind of find ones that are going to add up to the right length. Will You Be My Player Too and Gamer Girl. So once I've decided which ones go where, it's pretty easy to just go through them all, stamp them all. I'm cleaning them with my Stampin' Up! Stamp chamois. Lots of different companies make stamp chamois. They're really handy to have. I like this one because it comes in a DVD case that protects your work surface and keeps it wet in between stamping sessions as well. Now I want to make sure that I'm not repeating two stamps too close to one another, and I just need to figure out how to make these all fit. There we go. And I also want them to be a variety of different thicknesses and widths as well. So we've got Proud to be a Player, and then we've got Good Game. We have Gamer Girl. We have another one of those Press Start and Gamer. And I just did Gamer first so that I could just space out Press Start wherever it needed to be. So look at that. I really love how that looks. I put away all those stamps and I meant to take a picture of just the background without anything on it because I loved how that looked, but I forgot to. So now I'm just using the picture that I took before I took everything off and did the stamping, and I'm basically just placing everything back where it was before. I'm using my photo as a reference so that I don't forget. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. I already had placed them where I wanted them to be. So I'll just, I didn't really need to do that. I cut that off because I thought maybe I might want to put this at a different angle. Yeah, it's fine. I do end up using it separate, but I could have left it together. It would have been fine. Adding in those stamina wheels. And there we go. We are back to where we started before we did the stamping. And I love how this layout looks. I'm just checking to see if there's any more stickers that I might want to put on here or any more embellishments. But I think I'm good. There's a few more things that are going to work their way into the page. I'm going to put the title right there where I was just pointing my fingers below the word epic. I just went over to my Clip It Up, which was across the room, to grab some small tile letter stickers because I want my title to be on tile letter stickers so that it'll have better readability. I knew that there were lots of greens and oranges, so I just picked these ones off my Clip It Up. These are October Afternoon Mini Market letter stickers. They are my all-time favorite tile letter sticker. I know I'm not alone when I say that. We all love our Mini Market letter stickers. I am in a situation now where I have everything placed again, but none of it is actually laid down. And before I put those letter stickers on, I just want everything to get actually glued down in place. So I'm just going to position that little piece of foliage so that it cradles the word epic kind of nicely. And then I'll stick this little flower right there in the corner where I want it to be. I refer back to my photo as needed because I did have it the way I wanted it in the photo, so I'll keep going back to that as well. I decided I wanted to add some more foliage over here on the other side because it just felt a little bit unbalanced. That stem of leaves that came with the flower just wasn't enough. Even when I cut it off and positioned it differently, it just wasn't giving me enough. So I grabbed this one and I'll place it over here I'll actually place it a little bit differently than where it's at right now because I want it to be coming out from the flower. And that just gives me a little bit of balance with the foliage that's on the other side. So we'll glue that down and stick it under the flowers, and we'll glue that one in place as well. Oops, we better make sure we glue that flower down. It was glued to the photo, but I needed to glue it to the background too. And I'm just pulling the edges of the flower up to make it look like it's cupped a little bit. We'll add the moth right there. And then I'm just cutting off the little edges, part of the little edges of that paper clip. I'm actually not using it as a paper clip. I'm just tucking it behind. I'm going to put some foam adhesive on this one because of the way that it's layered with some of the other things. I want it to pop up a little bit. And that again says, would 100% recommend again. It was a fun day. It really was. Now, I'm just using my ATG on these and they're sticking really well. So you don't have to worry about that acetate. It'll stick to your regular adhesive. These mushrooms, I'm tucking the bases of the mushrooms behind the photo and then the tops of the mushrooms in front of the photo. And I'm sticking the bases flat to the paper, to the cardstock background, and then the heads I have popped up with foam tape. I'm doing the same thing here with the controller. I'm popping up the controller, but the cord goes onto the cardstock flat. Now I'm going to place some foam stickers behind the word epic to hold it up. I wanted that to pop up off the page a little bit. I guess I'm not doing it quite yet. I'm going to start by working with this butterfly. I'm doing a double stack of foam adhesive on the tops of this butterfly's wings, and then in the bottoms of the butterfly wings, I'm just using one foam adhesive. That way the fronts of the wings will be higher, popped up off the page a little bit higher than the backs of the wings. And of course the body is glued straight down to the cardstock background. Going to do the same thing with this little mushroom here that I did on the other side. Tuck it under and over. I do keep referring back to my photo just to make sure everything is tucking in the proper places. Looks like most things are glued down now. We'll just tuck this little stamina wheel under here. And I forgot to put these in place. So this is a little paper clip. It's a die cut paper clip. And then I tucked the heart in behind instead of using it as a paper clip. I just felt like it looked better in behind like that. And this one here, I'm also going to tuck in. I don't like how it looks as a paper clip. It sits too high. I like it nestled in behind the other circular element over there. Now I'm just going to take some time to really pull up the edges, especially of that orange flower. And I'm just going to support the front of the word epic with some foam tape. And I thought about making the rest of my title in orange so that it would look like it's all one title, but then I decided to use this coordinating green. It picks up on the green that's elsewhere in the page, and I really like to have two color titles. I just like it adds some interest. So I'm spelling out gaming day, so the title is going to be Epic Gaming Day. I'm spelling it out on my wax paper so that I can play around with how it fits and whether I want to stack it or have it side by side like this. And I do like it side by side like this. It's going to extend over onto the TV screen a little bit, but that's okay. There are two TV screens showing this. We were playing the same game, so that's all right. And now I'm trying to do a little fancy move here that just didn't work. So I'm just going to place these. Now, I eyeballed it and saw that the ing lands on the photo, so I put those first. And now this part, the gaming, the GAM part, is going to be partially attached to the Epic sticker and then partially with a foam tape so that it kind of dangles off the edge of the Epic sticker. And the Epic sticker is popped up off the page. So that way the two are flush, like they're on the same plane on my page. I'm going to mess around a little bit with placement here. I think I was trying to be too a little bit too perfectionistic about it. These titles look really nice when they're not perfect, so I didn't have to really mess with that as much as I did. And I'm really loving this. I'm going to grab one little label here, and that's not going to be it though. It's going to be this one. I like this little pink label. It's a little bit distressed looking too. I'm going to take my roller date stamp, and I just had to check the date of the photo on my computer. It was October 7th, 2023. So I'm using my roller date stamp here to stamp that, and I'm just going to double stamp it there to have a bit of a ghosted version of it. I roughed that up with my fingernails, and I'm just going to float that one down underneath. It's popping. It's not really floating because it's attached to the butterfly, but it's just below that little phrase that says the little things. So we're all done with the die cuts now, and you see that I have pulled out my little set of, I was going to use that sticker, but I can't find a place for it. So I have pulled out my confetti mix. This is MercyTiara Nostalgia confetti mix. And I'm just going to place little bits of confetti around where my stamina wheels are, actually. So one of those is not by the stamina wheel, so I'm just going to move that over there. And now each of my little clusters of confetti are close to the stamina wheel. And I'm starting with a whole bunch of confetti, and then I'm going to selectively remove some. A lot, actually. I'm going to remove a lot. There's only going to be a few left. And I basically want these to look like bubbly little pieces of dust or whatever that's floating up around my embellishments. And as I do this, I'm using my We Are Memory Keepers pickup stick, and I am just kind of moving them around until they look kind of natural, as if I didn't place them purposely. I want them to look random, and it takes kind of a while to make them look random. I'm also making sure that they're all flipped over the right way so that they'll be easy to glue down when I do decide to glue them down. So there, I like how that looks. We don't need all those extra ones, so I'll put those away. Now I'm going to use my Art Glitter Dries Clear Designer Glue. And this pickup stick makes easy work of sequins and confetti pieces and anything small. As you can see, you just pick it up, stick some glue, pick it back down. And now they're all glued in. I'll put the pin back into that and put my pickup stick away. And I'm just having a look at it to see if it is done. And one of my patrons mentioned that it could use some black up in the top left-hand corner. And what I do to see if something is balanced is I sometimes will blur my eyes and look at it. And there are pops of black in the photos as well. And I think it looked okay without the black, but I do agree. I think that it would look even better with a touch of black right here. So I saw this lightning bolt on the photo play stickers that very first sticker set, and I just decided to add that. It just brings some black up to that corner and balances off with the large it's game on embellishment down at the bottom that is a very dark black, and then the controller is also black. It just balances that off, and I think it looks really great like that. Now, here are the video close-ups, and I do have some photo close-ups as well. I really love how that border looks with all the words stamped around it. I got to do that again. I just love that look. And the graphic look of that stamping balances off so nicely with all of those beautiful, organic, flowy, plant-like things that are on the page. They're the two pages together that I did so far this morning. I did do two more after this in the same setting. But first, before I show the photos to you, I'd like to give a quick shout out to my Patreon supporters. These folks on your screen right now help make this channel happen, so big thanks to all of them. Patrons get early ad-free access to all of my process videos, and they also get real-time unedited versions of all of my videos and occasional monthly live streams and some other occasional impromptu lives as well, and some behind the scenes videos and so on. So thanks to them and thanks to you as well. Here are those close-up photos. I really love this page. It might be my favorite page of the day. It certainly was a lot of fun to put together. And I think that when you minimize your patterned paper, it really gives you the freedom to pile on all of those embellishments and really have some fun with layering and combining maybe some looks that you wouldn't think would go together. They just might go together after all. So I hope that you enjoyed this process video. Thanks so much for watching and have a really great scrappy week.